Rated T for Teen.
The children of Talarian were betrayed. A dark prophecy fulfilled. Chaos and war unleashed. When vengeful gods return, who will defy them? The children of Talarian were betrayed. Bless Unleashed. Join the open beta now.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for joining us for our first official live stream for Bless Unleashed. My name is Tommy, and I'm joined here with my coworker Titus. How's it going, man?
Great. Glad to be here. Hi, everyone.
Thank you for being here, Titus. Once again, thank you everyone for taking the time to participate in our open beta. We've been receiving a lot of feedback. It has been really constructive, and we take it to heart. So we will be making sure that we try to integrate all of it and as much of it as possible. But today, this live stream will be focusing on answering your questions, looking at chat down here, and trying to see what questions we can answer, since I'm sure you have a lot of questions to ask us. And at the same time, I'll have Titus over here playing the game, kind of starting from the very beginning for the open beta. And for everyone without an Xbox, you'll get a chance to kind of see how the game looks and how it plays. Ready to go, Titus? Alright, let's do it. Oh, also, hold on a second. Let me bring the console down quite a bit. I can see chat popping in. Alright, so before you get going, how is the audio sounding, guys? Awesome. I think no, yeah, they had it a little bit louder earlier during the Dark Souls stream, which I hope you had a chance to come check out. But now that we have that ready to go, let us kick in over to Titus hopping into the game and going through the very beginning with character creation.
Yep, so we're just going to go through each class and kind of see. I'm going to be rolling a Crusader, but I just wanted to showcase some of the other classes that we have for Bless Unleashed. We have Crusader, Berserker, Ranger, Mage, and Priest.
Thanks for the sound check, guys. Appreciate it. And then, yeah, be sure to ask in the questions here or in the chat any questions you have, be it for the team, about the game, the open beta, future plans, whatever have you. So feel free to ask anything. Anything will be answered to the best of our ability. And yeah, so this one here, we're really excited to have the open beta finally launch. I know we have some fans out there who have been following all the way since PAX West. And we appreciate your devotion to the game, since you know, it's the players who make the game as good as it is, and without you guys we wouldn't be able to you know, do these things. Yeah, so the game here will be a free-to-play action MMORPG coming out on Xbox One first. And this one here, we will be you know, we're investigating other platforms. There's nothing locked in or confirmed at the moment, but on launch we will be on Xbox One, and it's a free-to-play game. There are other platforms out there, yeah. What is it, Citra? So PC, PlayStation, maybe even Switch. We're investigating all the options, but it's nothing is confirmed or anything like that. So just keep an eye out for more news. And yeah, so Titus here just going through, trying to pick a name.
Yeah, the hardest thing I have with MMORPGs is just deciding on the name. So I was trying to go with something generic like Crusader, but
Can you have spaces? Yeah, I was about to be like, can you have spaces in your name? Excuse me? What is going on here?
Oh, I know the one. Yo Crusader.
Oh boy. Is that a shout out to your handle out in the, what is it, the corner of the screen over, if my hand can point to it, over there, right? Yeah, so what is it? So Aziel Wolfbangs, feel free to stream during the open beta. There's no restrictions. We'd hope that you don't completely break the game, but again, this is an open beta and we're looking for your feedback, so feel free to do or push the game to its limits and let us know what you find, or hopefully if you find nothing, that's even better. Yeah, so when the game launches here, it will be on Xbox One and will be basically an Xbox One exclusive on launch. For other platforms, we are actively investigating it, but there's nothing official yet. And for those of us joining a little bit later here, so my name is Tommy. I have my buddy Taz on the side here. I'll pull up our title card here. But so I'm an associate brand manager on the title. Titus is our digital content specialist, and he works closely not only with my team, but with all the other teams around here at the company, so Bananaco Entertainment. And yeah, so free to play, Xbox One, and other things in the future. Your controller is connected.
An ancient seal will be broken.
I have my handy dandy USB
And an army of chaos shall rise.
as I try to get you back online, and as I answer more questions.
Only a bearer of the
Hey,
lantern
how's it going, Anthony? Thanks
may
for
be
joining.
able to hold darkness again. The die has been cast, and Luminous awoken. Before the goddess of darkness can conquer
This
all,
cutscene's not that important anyways, you know, you're gonna see it every time you make a new character.
go forth
There we
and
go, I heard
find
it
the
vibrate
fragments of the gods.
a little bit. Ty, do you want to swing over to the other side real quick and check? Oh,
Yes.
maybe that got it? We'll take a look here and see. Let's see. Any updates on the launch date? For the launch date here, we are looking for some time in the near future. I would love to give you a specific date, but I probably would get in trouble if I said anything since it's not confirmed quite yet. And let's see the various questions here. Thanks for asking questions, guys. For the skill tree, hopefully we can pull it up here in a little bit when Titus ends up going through, or finishes going through the tutorial, which kind of gives you a primer on the game. So if you look on screen now, you'll notice how in this set, it'll be the same kind of tutorial dungeon when you go through the game, but each class here has a certain set of combos and a certain skill set that you can play through. And what we've done is, for the starting of the game, we try to give you the kind of like the best possible experience, or kind of the end game feeling, so that you know kind of what to expect should you go down this route for your character. CAD, yes, there are a lot of changes to combat. So after our most recent closed beta, we took a lot of the feedback to heart and got it over to the developers for them to reiterate and kind of take all of the players' feedback into account and work on not only how the combat feels, but chaining together combos, as well as kind of the behind the scenes battle mechanics, so that when you're playing the game, it should feel a lot smoother and really kind of make those impactful hits when you're fighting enemies. Yeah, so Root Birdie, with the differences between classes here, there'll be 5 available classes on launch, and you have the Ranger, the Mage, the Priest, the Crusader, and the Berserker. You'll see on screen right now, Titus has rolled a Crusader, and the Crusader is your typical sword and shield class, wears heavier armor, and they can be either defensive focused or offensively focused, depending on how you want to play them. From there, you have the Berserker, who wields a large two-handed axe that's probably bigger than most characters in general. And obviously, the Berserker stays true to its name. It likes to berserk through enemies. A very, how would you say, high-risk, high-reward class, so lots of damage, but takes a lot of damage in return. From there, you have your Mage, which is your magic user. The Mage has access to different Arcana spells, and some have various elements to them, which, when you roll it, you can try out all the different spells. The Priest is your kind of supporting class, but the game is built not to revolve around the heavy MMO triangle. So the Priest, while it can be focused on support, also has some pretty good skills to dish out some damage. And finally, you have the Ranger, which is your typical bow user. The Ranger has lots of mobility, and what's really cool with the Ranger is that we really wanted to avoid having them stuck to just using range attack. So what's really cool is the Ranger has a pretty strong kick that works in melee range. So should something sneak up on you against you close, you can still come back with melee attacks. Yeah, so for the game Humanoid Typo, there will be raids and dungeons. For ours, we have arenas, lairs, and your typical dungeons. And these here you can queue up with friends or with people, you know, randomly through matchmaking, and basically dive through it like your typical MMO. For PvP, we're gonna have both. We're focused on in-world PvP, so the PvP while you're out in the world, as well as the typical PvP arenas, where then you go into a more like controlled setting, where it's go one-on-one, up to I want to say guild v guild, but don't quote me on that quite yet, since we're still working with developers to figure out the final set for PvP. For the classes and races, we are trying to get as much in as possible. On launch, you'll see the same that we are focused on here on OBT, but that could change in the future. It's not set in stone. Thanks for the shout out, Mariano. You know, the game itself, it's built on Unreal Engine 4, and it's been rebuilt from the ground up for console with console players in mind. So the game looks great, plays great, and has really had its focus on console. So we're hoping it provides the best experience possible. Let's see, game volume too loud again. Man, let me try to keep these levels down here. Okay, let's take a look here. All right, so I adjusted the game volume again. If you could let me know in chat how it sounds. Should be low enough now. I'm trying not to yell since Titus will kind of focus there. Yeah, you can go to the tutorial. Yeah, we'll show them the whole OBT experience here. For the server locations, we are finalizing that, but I believe for launch, we will have servers based in the Americas as well as in the European regions. From there, I think it depends more on how we see things play out, but we are keeping an eye on where our players are coming from and then trying to create the best experience possible. So not set in stone, and we will try to accommodate as many people as we can. I know, right? This way you can just stay with the console and not have to worry about anything. And let's see, let's scroll up in the chat here and see some of the questions that we may have missed. Official release, again, not set in stone, but we're looking at sometime soon-ish. Can't give you any hard date because it's not set yet, but you won't be waiting for too long. Last night, so you may have noticed, we had a quick little patch earlier in the day today. The developers and our server guys were keeping a close eye on things, and they have applied a couple different patches behind the scene to accommodate and prevent that from happening or fix it. So yeah, let us know if you're continuing to see it starting now or from today. Oh, thanks, Vorpal. You know, we're always excited to hear people you know, getting Xbox. They're just excited to play. And again, be sure to play the open beta and provide us your feedback, since again, we made a lot of changes since our 4th closed beta, which was held a couple months ago. And it's these constant iterations which work really well for a game like Bless Unleashed, since we can take the player feedback into account, work closely with the developers, and get the game changes in that you guys are looking for, so we can have the best game possible. Let's see. Also, how do dungeons work in the co-op sense? This one, I'll explain it in 1 second. So before I go on too far, let me double check. So how is the audio level, guys? I hope I didn't bring the game down too much. So I just wanted to check before we go in, so I don't have to, you know, get drowned out or you blow your ears out. Man, awesome, yeah. The delay in stream here kind of is awkward, you know, as I wait to see your answers on chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so real quick, let's check in with Titus. Titus, how are you feeling so far? I know you've played a lot of the game and have been doing a lot of research on it. How have you been enjoying it so far?
I'm enjoying it the same way that I've been enjoying it for all the other playtests, or sessions rather. The thing I like about Bless Unleashed is that it's very action oriented. So I played other, I remember playing other MMORPGs, both on PC and on console, and Bless Unleashed is very unique, and I think that it does have its own identity versus those other ones.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you guys for the update on the audio. Okay, so let's go back to questions here. So hey, Smart Asian Guy, this one, the game unfortunately will not be launching on other platforms. Again, on launch, it will be for Xbox One, but it will be enhanced with 4K graphics or be Xbox One enhanced, so it'll look great. As well as we kept it in mind that not everyone has the newest Xbox One, so even if you have a slightly older one, you should still be able to hop on and play with the graphics scaling dynamically. So we expect to see everyone in there. Let's see. So the different classes on here and the whole DPS triangle, or the MMO triangle, if you haven't heard of it, basically you have your tank, your DPS, and your healer. So you have someone to tank the hits, someone doing damage, and then your healer to keep everyone alive. Me personally, I like playing healer since basically you're the one who controls everyone's lives at the end of the day.
Me too.
But with Bless, what we're trying to shift around is sometimes the healer wants to do damage, and sometimes the tank also wants to do damage, since typically you measure your success in the game by how much damage you do, or kind of how much impact you had on the fight. So what we've done with Bless Unleashed here is try to allow everyone to do damage if they'd like, or rather allow you to play your character how you like. So if you like to heal and then occasionally pump out some damage, you can do that. Or if you want to focus on mostly support, you can do that too. So you have all these different options to roll from to make the experience unique to yourself. Okay, Goku in this game, maybe in the future we might have to talk to the higher ups. Maybe, who knows? Maybe a Gi, but you know, that's maybe a pipe dream for the future. For the monetization in the game, this one we are heavily working against any kind of pay-to-win notion. There will be a cash shop in-game, but will be mostly related to cosmetics as well as mounts and other cool little nifty things that don't affect gameplay. So most of it is your typical make yourself look really cool, but doesn't impact your actual gameplay, be it PvE or PvP. So mostly cosmetics. Let's see. Some combos have a knockback stagger effect that allow you to complete them. Others can only be completed while the enemy is down. Oh, thanks for answering questions. Appreciate it. Cool and Don. Thank you very much. What are you guys eating tonight? Curry? I hope so. Curry
I'm
sounds
feeling
good.
teriyaki chicken, actually.
Where are you gonna eat teriyaki chicken at?
I don't know.
Thanks for the invite, man. I guess Titus is eating teriyaki chicken. Maybe I'll go for curry. We'll see. For the settings, so thanks Kota House Life, great question. He asked, can we adjust the AA, bloom, saturation, and brightness in game yet? If you swing to the options menu, which Titus should be able to pop up in here, in the open beta, I don't believe we have full access to the settings just yet, but we're gonna there should be enough sliders in there for you to really customize it to your heart's content. That said, within reason, because the consoles have, you know, certain limitations and everyone's console is the same. So unlike a PC game, you won't have full control, but we're trying to make sure you have as much as possible. So let's see. You know, again, Xbox only on launch, but we're looking at other platforms. Again, we really want to get it to as many players as possible, but we're trying. But whenever we have official information, we'll definitely let you know. Oh yeah, Switch would be fantastic, of course. Let's see. Oh, Titus, you may be able to answer this one better. So how large are parties for endgame dungeons and raids? Or what is the party size limit here?
Is this a quiz?
It could be.
It's 4.
It could be 5. Is it 4?
Oh, it's 5. Yeah. It's 5.
Yeah, so it'll be 5-man parties unless there's other changes coming before launch. But yeah, sorry to throw you under the spot like that. So yeah, it is not pay to win. So let's see, yeah. Yeah, so Derpy, with the DPS classes there, his question was, so he's a DPS guy and went to try the Ranger, but feel free to try other classes because we want you to get the best experience giving out all 5 a try. And again, you'll be able to pump out damage no matter what class you pick. Also, I don't know if you've noticed on stream yet, but let me switch back here. Let me hide the little name tags, but you'll see us rocking our awesome Ranger and Mage shirt over here. So just want you guys to know, in the game, we're asking everyone, if possible, to link their Bandai Namco accounts to their Xbox accounts, or rather make a Bandai Namco account and then link it. But what we're going to do here is we've toured Bless around different shows now. So we were at PAX West before, PAX East, as well as GDC and E3 early in the year. But what we do have are some cool swag items that we have been giving out for people who've played the demo, including these shirts here, as well as this is an exclusive that's gone now, but Titus is wearing our exclusive Berserker Varg beanie. That said, what we are going to do is when you are signed up and we have your Bandai Namco and your Xbox One accounts linked, or rather even a Bandai Namco account, throughout the future here as we work out the details, we've saved some swag from the previous events we've been to. So we're going to try to do some giveaways in the future. So we have cool things to give away, like these awesome flasks here. Let me get it up close to camera. But you'll see here that it says Cure-All on it, which was really popular at the shows. I'm not sure if the camera will focus in on that well enough. But we have flasks that we're going to try to give away, as well as, because it's winter time and it gets cold outside, we have these awesome Bless Unleashed scarves that we gave away at events too.
They're actually really comfortable.
Yeah, you want to put it on, Titus? You can,
yeah,
you can
sure.
wear some more stuff.
I'm feeling a little chilly.
Yeah. But again, so you can't get these awesome items and stay warm like Titus while you're gaming unless you have your accounts linked. So be sure to do that. And if you already have it, be sure to swing to BandaiNamco.com and sign up for your free Bandai Namco account. That way we can keep you up to date with all the latest information, not only with Bless Unleashed, but any of our upcoming Bandai Namco entertainment titles. So as Titus gets back into here, I'll scroll up and chat. Let's see. Okay, so what's my favorite thing about the game so far? I would say the combat definitely is my favorite. So I'm a big Arkham Asylum kind of less Dark Souls, more like spamming buttons and inputting combos that flow nicely together. So with Bless Unleashed, what's really cool is even though it's going to be an MMORPG, the focus is on the action MMORPG part of it, since we want to create that action game, but with the RPG element so you can customize your character and make it unique to yourself. And the combat definitely feels really good. The sound effects feel great. And when you hit a monster or land a full combo, it just feels so good. And that's my favorite part of it. Titus, what's yours?
My favorite part of it is that with a lot of the other MMORPGs out there, there are a lot of keystrokes, there are a lot of skills and skill bars to pay attention to. With Bless Unleashed, it was built with the controller in mind, so it's kind of like streamlined in that way, which really just helps you focus more on the gameplay and the environment and the overall experience. That's not to discredit like the other MMORPGs on the market, but that's just what I enjoy the most out of Bless Unleashed.
Nice. So I saw someone here ask a question about a different title which exists out there, which no longer actually exists out there, with a similar name to our game. And what I can say, and what we've been telling, or basically what the story behind that is Bless Unleashed, again, is a completely separate title. If anything, there are other games that may have a similar name to it, and you could say they share an overarching universe. I dare say maybe not a cinematic universe, but they're in the same universe. That said, again, Bless Unleashed has been rebuilt from the ground up. It is not a port, and it doesn't come from anywhere else. And it's built from the ground. It has been built from the ground up for console users with console players in mind. So things like controls, things like the graphics, things like how when you're running around an open world, how things load, has all been focused with console in mind, so that console players for a console action MMORPG get the best experience. Besides that, there is no connection minus possibly some like not even characters, I'd say, dare say like models and maybe even like environments. But minus that, it's its own unique game in its own unique world with its own unique story. So let's take a look here. Yes, so with the character slots there, you'll be able to unlock more character slots when the game fully launches. So yeah, no worries. You should be able to have as many characters to your heart's content. Let's see. Yeah, again, so Bless Unleashed on launch will be an Xbox One exclusive, with other platforms possibly in the future, but nothing official, nor is anything set in stone. So yeah, so again, make sure for these shirts, so for people asking about the shirts, the scarf, or these awesome Cure-All flasks here, let me make sure I can see the camera. So for people curious about this, just make sure that you have a Bandai Namco account. If possible, link it to your Xbox One account. And in the future, we're going to be doing some giveaways, as well as trying to get more swag out to you guys, since it's made for you, and we want to get it to as many people as we can. Also, these shirts are really soft, and I dare say I wear them all the time. I think Titus wears it to work too occasionally.
I have like 5 of these, so I wear them every day.
There you go. So
the week.
Nice. Man, Titus, someone's saying we should get you a Snuggie.
I would like a Snuggie. Please get me a Snuggie.
Do they even yeah, I don't know if they make Snuggies anymore. This one, it is not on PC. We are investigating the possibility of other platforms, but again, nothing set in stone, so. Let's see, what do you think of Diablo 4, and can you guys... So I am a big fan of all other games. Personally speaking, I haven't played too much Diablo, but they look like fantastic games. And, you know, there's a game for everyone out there. And I think that it's always better when you guys have more games than less games to pick from. Since, you know, it's always better for competition to exist, as well as when the competition makes great games. At the end of the day, what that means is the players get more good games to play. So, you know, I think they all hold a candle to each other. And I'm also personally excited just for all the new games that are coming out from now to when Bless Unleashed launches in the near future. No hard date, but near future. So, yeah. So this one here, the there is, when you pick the Berserker here, they are the, oh my god, I'm blanking on the race name. Varg. Thank you. So for the Varg here, they are a like wolf-like race, which Titus can probably bring up in a little bit here so you can see the model. Or actually, when we get past the tutorial, you'll see other players since he's playing straight in the open beta. Yeah. But there is the Varg, where when you pick a Berserker, you get a Varg. They're a much larger class even compared to the human race. And then on the opposite side of things, you have the Ippen, who are the small kind of...
halfling race.
There we go. Like halfling sized, but definitely cuter than halflings for sure.
Definitely cuter,
yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, yeah, Fluffy Kinja. We would love to make slippers as well as other apparel, but we'll see what makes sense. But hey, you know, depending on the response we get and how many people like, you know, the shirts and scarves and such, anything can happen. So, Kotahas Live, that is a great question. Let me read that. So, any chance you guys will release any posters? Not enough game companies make official posters anymore. As an individual, for me personally, I love when you get cool posters or there's cool posters out there, since I'm a big fan of framing and hanging all my stuff. But on the brand management team for the game, definitely, if there's interest for it, I would love to make that happen. So we will keep you in the know. Let's take a look here. Let's see. Can you let's see. Man, there's so many questions. I don't know which one to pick. Titus, you should just pick one of the questions here.
Sure. Are classes race locked?
Yeah. So again, we went over it a little bit earlier, but classes are, at the moment, classes and races are set for now. Nothing is set fully in stone though, in the sense of new additions being offered in the future. But what you see in the open beta right now is what we're going with for when the game launches. But again, anything can happen because it's not set fully in stone, or rather it's not finished. Changes can always happen down the road. Which one? So again, yeah, so for everyone joining us, we are trying our best to investigate other platforms, but on launch, this will be a Xbox One exclusive on launch. And it will be Xbox One enhanced, meaning if you have a 4K TV, you can see things in all that 4K goodness. But again, we are looking at other platforms, some of which start with the letter P, some of which start with the letter S. But again, nothing is set in stone. But as soon as we do have more information, we will definitely let you know. Again, if you haven't already seen, on this side of the screen, you'll see in the corner here our Bless Unleashed social channels. Be sure to follow us either on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. We tend to post all of our updates on Twitter, shortly followed by the other social platforms. But if you want to be up in the know for everything Bless Unleashed, be sure to follow us there. As well as there is a subreddit, which is r/Bless Unleashed. That's where we have the community so far, or we've seen a lot of community interaction. So if you have any questions or want to join the discussion, there's where you need to go to participate.
forget how vicious this cinematic is.
Oh, this one, yeah. So right now, for the cinematic, this is kind of the beginning of the story, so you get a touch of it. But essentially, there's a hooded figure who ends up stabbing someone here, and then you're kind of left in turmoil. Pretty much, yeah. And kind of the overarching mystery is, you know, who was that guy? Why did they stab her? What is going on? Why was there a griffin that flew in the middle of the city as buildings were falling? But yeah, as Titus goes through here again, so what Titus is playing through right now is still the, you could say, the tutorial of the game, or kind of easing you into it. So still explaining combats, your not controls, your skills and your items and your kind of direction is guided right now, because again, it's a tutorial. But for everyone joining in, Bless Unleashed is a open world action MMORPG with dungeons or with instance dungeons and instant like PvP arenas. So it's both open world and you have your classic dungeons. But you'll see here, as soon as Titus he's very close to the end of the tutorial mission, or the tutorial area, then we'll start seeing other players load in, and then he'll finally be in the game proper. But that'll be coming up soon. For DLC content, again, we have it planned down the road, but right now we are focused on getting the game launched. So yes, there will be future content as we go on, but again, we're focused on launch. And then for the max level, I believe it is 45 or so. But again, that one I will have a check on here right now. Let me see here. Also, I'm just getting some quick messages right now saying that the audio level is still a little bit low. Let me see if we can adjust that a bit. Have the mic pop up in camera here, look kind of cool. So I brought the mic a little bit closer here so we can hopefully get better, cleaner audio. Really quick, so before diving in too soon, can you guys give me one final audio check? Also, please let me know if the game audio is too loud, since I've adjusted it a little bit again, so we'll make sure that everything's looking good. Awesome, thank you for following us on Twitter, Derpy McSquirtle, appreciate it. Yeah, before we dive into too far here, since I know it sucks when the audio is no good on a stream and you gotta play with your volume all the time, so we'll try to avoid that. Awesome. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, MattTrut100. Appreciate it. Also, I had a slight correction. The Ranger kick is no longer in there, but again, this is what happens when you have a live service game that's going from beta to open beta. Changes do occur, but you can, again, still customize your character through various blessings, which we'll hopefully get a peek at in a little bit here once Titus gets through the tutorial. Right. Thanks, Metro. I hope I'm louder than the game. The game being louder than me might be a little inconvenient. All right, so Titus has just finished going through the tutorial mission, or the tutorial for the game, and now he's going to enter the full open world open beta. So we should start seeing other people pop up, and you get to, I think, encounter a field boss rather soon.
A field boss?
A field boss, yes.
How exciting. I think field bosses are one of my favorite parts of MMORPGs, because it's a chance for people in the overworld to come together and take down a common enemy, which is like a common kind of like theme in, like, you know, medieval fantasy type of stories. Yeah. So to update everyone, in Bless Unleashed, we will have various types of bosses, but in the open world, you have something called field bosses. These are the ones that pop up on the field sporadically as you're just experiencing the world. And these are the ones where players can team up together to tackle down monumental foes together, or run away because they're too hard and they're kind of scary. But it's up to you, since they just pop them on the field, and it's your choice whether or not you're going to do anything about it. So now we're seeing other players populate the general area. So we've left the instance, and now we're in well, essentially the overworld.
No worries, Matt Trut. It's all good, man. Sorry if I apologize if I came off a little curt on that. I'm just trying to make sure that everyone has the best experience possible. But again, thank you for all your questions, guys. It makes this a lot more fun for me, answering all your questions, as well as I hope that we can give you some meaningful insight into the game itself, as well as kind of for the open beta as a whole. But as you can see right now, Titus is just walking around and there's just a bunch of people playing the game. So again, it is a free-to-play action MMORPG coming out on Xbox One soon-ish, but no hard date at the moment.
You want to roll a Varg?
What was it?
Should I jump into a Varg?
Yeah, sure. So what I'll have Titus here is going to hop back to a character creation and then roll a Berserker, which is the Varg race, so you can get a look at some of the other mechanics. Also, he can skip, or you can skip the tutorial of the game, so we can dive straight back into the open world and then see Titus get into some combat. Let's see. I see some more questions coming in here. Hey, Matt. Let's see. Probably a dumb question, but are there mounts, and more specifically flying mounts? Yes, there are mounts in game. With flying mounts, I cannot speak to it yet, but just keep your eyes open for updates coming in the future. And let's see. 2 quick questions from Surak or Surake. I played some Blessed last night and I liked it, but 1, is it planned to let us remap the controls? Using the shoulder buttons to attack is horrible. 2, will open beta progress carry over? Great questions. For the first one here, when Titus gets back in game, we are working right now on having fully mappable buttons for open launch, but in this beta, there are actually 3 control schemes that you can pick from, and right now, we are going back and forth trying to figure out what works best as the default control scheme. But I'll have Titus here pull it up when he gets done rolling his character. But the 3 control schemes that we have are, 1 has the attacks focused on the face buttons or the X and Y buttons. 1 has the focus on the triggers, so left trigger, right trigger, and 1 has the focus on the bumpers, so left bumper, right bumper. But you can pick a different control scheme in game. And for your second question, will open beta progress carry over? We do not have an open beta progress carrying over, so when the game officially launches, it'll be a server wipe and a clean fresh start for everyone. That, and there may be some changes from here to launch when it comes to some of the story, as well as just some general like progression. So we're gonna give everyone a fair shot at the start of the game, since we want everyone to have a good time. Let's see. More questions. Let's see. From YoMaster91. Will there be relic weapon quests in the game, such as the one in Final Fantasy XIV? The legendary weapons, there will be something similar to it, but you'll be able to see more once it is fully fleshed out. I don't think you'll be able to see too much of it during the open beta, but we'll have more details coming out on all of our social channels as well as our website in the near future.
I'm just gonna go ahead and skip the cinematic,
Yeah.
just so we can get back into gameplay right away.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Oh, awesome. Soraka, thank you again for linking your account. You know, it's the contribution from just you guys that let us constantly iterate on the game. And by linking your account and then submitting feedback afterwards, we can not only make sure we're getting legitimate feedback, but then we can, you know, try to make sure that we can get that feedback accounted for properly. So, yeah, of course. Scrolling up here, I believe there was, I think it was Kite May was asking or saying like a question wasn't being answered. If you'd like to retype it here, I'll keep a closer eye out. But yeah, if you want to type it out, let me see here. And then 1 second here, as we're getting a quick question from the side. Okay. Let's see. Yep, so right now Titus is just diving back in. So again, when you make a new character, you will go through the very beginning tutorial dungeon as you get a feel for the character, and then everything afterwards, he's gonna skip this time since you've already seen it. But let's say you wanna roll a second, third, fourth, fifth, maybe sixth character, you won't have to go through the whole tutorial every time, because once you get the mechanics and the feel for the character, we feel pretty comfortable that, you know, you'll know how to play it. So, yeah. Technically, berserkers are holding 2 hands on a single weapon, so you could say they're dual wielding because they're using 2 hands. But at the moment, no, maybe in the future. But yeah, so the berserkers, they are using large 2-handed axes, which are nearly as big as they are. Yeah, you know, hey, if you have a two-handed weapon, are you not dual wielding? I know that's totally wrong, but you know. For the crafting system, this one here, so the way crafting will work, or where you'll typically be doing it, is in-game. There are locations marked through the map called soul pyres. These soul pyres, which look like big old bonfires, this is where you not only sit down to regain EXP, but this is where you also go to handle cooking, crafting, and other various things that are outside of combat. And I believe for crafting itself, there'll also be NPCs for depending what you're trying to do. But soul pyres are kind of the hub for most out-of-combat things.
I'm just eating these attacks. Sorry, guys.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so we'll swing over to Titus here as he dives in and takes a look at some stuff. And as I go through and scroll through questions, let's see. Maybe 2-handed swords for the berserker, maybe in the future, since it fits the motif too. But we can definitely bring it up and see. So, also, one of our other teams here at the office, which handle the website among other things. So remember, as I said earlier, you do want to link your Bandai Namco account with your Xbox One account. However, remember that Bandai Namco treats all of its players like VIP or very important players, and when you create a Bandai Namco account, there will be special various promotions going out and about, but one of which, and I'll get it on camera here, one of the coolest of which is their VIP box, which is filled with a bunch of Bandai Namco IP-related goodies. So it could be stuff from Tekken, could be stuff from Sword Art, maybe even Bless, or anything, you know, that Bandai Namco handles. But the only way to hear about this and get entered to win it in the future is to have a Bandai Namco account. So be sure to sign up for one. Or all these boxes will end up being piled at the office and nobody can win them.
And who wants that?
Let's see here. So CPU Plutus asks, is there a shared bank between all characters? There's kind of a shared storage, which I believe also handles money. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that though. But the information will be on our game guide, so that's where you'll be able to find out exactly what can be stored in storage. Let me see here. So CAD0382 asked about knockdown recovery. Can you be more specific? Are you talking about after being knocked down or avoiding attacks? So if you be more specific, I'll follow up with you. Yes, so Completions asks, so the full game will start out the same way, or will the full game start out the same way where you can test the character? Yes, so when the game fully launches, you'll still go through this similar setup that you see on screen right now, where you get the end game or tailored end game experience with a character that kind of has been somewhat built out. And then over here, as you can see, as Titus goes through, he can skip the additional tutorial part and dive straight into the open world. So it just depends on how far and how much you want to test out a character before going straight into the open world. Let me see. Is there some sort of transmog where we can customize the way our armor looks, like changing the appearance of an armor piece? Yes and no. For the transmog part, like let's say Fantasia from another MMORPG that exists out there, that I cannot confirm off the top of my head during stream, but what I can confirm is for customization when it comes to color and then individual pieces. So let's say you have a piece of armor that has like metal pieces as well as cloth, or let's say leather. You'll be able to customize those various pieces with colors, so you'll have a bit more fine-tuning when it comes to what colors you want certain things on your equipment. Let's see. Is the combat optimized for controller? Of course. So this one here, with Bless Unleashed, we have been building it from the ground up with console players in mind. and that also includes the controller scheme. We're still working on trying to get it so it's fully remappable, so you can pick whatever button you want for whatever action. But what we've been testing out, and even with this open beta, we have 3 different controller schemes that you can try out. We're looking for feedback on what you liked, what you didn't like, and even suggestions on like, hey, I feel like maybe my main attack button, instead of being on X, maybe it goes on B. Don't know why you'd want that, but we're looking for all the feedback possible so that we can create or give the most optimal controller schemes for all players. Also, there'll be multiple controller schemes. So, you know, we've heard that definitely for accessibility, some people work better with the attacks on the bumpers or on the triggers. So we've been trying to make sure we can accommodate for both the hardcore player as well as the everyday player, and then the player who may need a little bit more custom controls. So. On launch, the game will be localized in English, but we are looking to have it in other regional languages in the future.
Oh, I just got some new shoes.
Oh yeah, I have water. Thank you, person on the side, for reminding me that I have water.
You have water?
No, this side. The invisible person on that side. For the voicing of the game, I believe every NPC has at least a greet line, or will have a greet line, and then obviously all the cutscenes will be voiced. How deep it goes from there, though, I'm not 100% sure, but I can follow up and find out for you, and we can post on our socials what that information is. Let's see. So Cat asked also, is being knocked down the same as being stunned, or will we be able to move around, get up to avoid being attacked? For that one, what will happen here is, Titus, can you show me a dodge roll? So, depending on how much you're dodging here, you can dodge attacks in-game just like any typical action fighter. And when you dodge an attack, if you dodge it perfectly or appropriately, you won't take any damage and or the knockdown or knockback effects. When you're stunned, typically the stun will happen from like a set event when you're fighting certain like field bosses or dungeon bosses, and when that happens, usually a quick time event will pop up. So those are typically undodgeable, but stuff that knocks down and stuff that's an attack can be dodged, and if you do it properly, you shouldn't have any knockback or knockdown. Yeah. I'd say all about the game has voice. Let's see, Root Birdie. For boosts and such, we are investigating it right now. Since again, we are trying to make sure that the monetization of the game stays, you know, fair for all players, as well as has very limited effects on the game itself. But there should be stuff in game that we're gonna have where, let's say, like you get a boost to like maybe like a small boost amount of gold you get when fighting monsters or picking up drops, or for crafting, you know, increasing the not success, increasing kind of like the caliber of things that you get in game, or stuff relative along those lines, but none of it is locked in yet, and we're reiterating a lot based on the feedback that we're getting from this open beta, or rather what people are asking for, what they expect to see after this open beta.
I'm going to leave this place someday.
But yeah, this one here looks like the questions have slowed down a little bit. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream here. We really appreciate you taking your time to swing on by. It's a Friday, you know, late afternoon time, and you know, there could be other places you could have been at, or other streams you're watching, but I'm glad that you're here with us today. This one here, to pick up on a couple other points. Let's see. So for some general open beta information, again, so Bless Unleashed is in its open beta test. On full launch, the game will be free to play, and it's an free-to-play action MMORPG. For this open beta, you can go up to level 30, and we're trying to give you a big chunk of the game so you can kind of get a feel for how it plays, get some feel for the mechanics, and then try to see some various areas throughout the game so you can just get a feel for it all. And then progress for open beta will unfortunately not be carried over into full launch. But that said, when full launch happens, there will be no more wipes after that. So when the game comes out proper, your progress will save for all eternity. All right, so let me look back down at questions here. Let's see, how many abilities are there for, oh man. Derpy McSquirrel, thank you for taking the time to be here at 1 a.m. Super late, super early, I guess technically super late, but thank you. This one here, so let's see, how many abilities are there for a character? Is it only the 4 linked to the LB button? So this one here, Titus, if you can hold the LB button and bring up your blessings for a second, so which he doesn't have very many right now because it's the start of the game. Those additional skills or blessings are customizable based on various blessings you find throughout the game, and that is where you can customize or you can gain additional talents or skills or attacks that pop up there. And that's what you find through natural progression, through quests, through certain boss battles, and just by playing the game. So there are multiple myriad of blessings out there, and it's just up to you to find them and then equip on your character. Yes, there is. So I will hit up voice chat in 1 second. For the open beta, there are some unique exclusives for participating in it. The first of which being, if you link your Bandai Namco account with your Xbox account, you will be given an exclusive golden Hyaenodon mount when the game launches. And the only way to get that mount will be to link your accounts. Again, I guess technically that first one is not super exclusive since you can link your account anytime and get that. But now is the time that it starts at. So if you want it, make sure you link your account. In the beta itself, though, we're going to have an exclusive, some exclusive titles for you for participating in the beta, as well as some exclusive titles for accomplishing certain feats throughout the beta, all of which are listed in the patch notes down toward the bottom, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, be sure to take a look at it, since I know that the only way to get the very cool title of Breaker of Games is to participate in the open beta. So if you want that exclusive title, you just have to play in the game. Yep, so on the mount here, I misspoke a little bit. It's not exclusive to the open beta, but there's an exclusive golden Hyaenodon mount that you can only get by linking your Bandai Namco and Xbox accounts. You're not limited to do it during the beta, but for a cool golden mount that you can only get by linking accounts, it would be unwise to not link your accounts. And yes, the golden Hyaenodon mount will be awarded to you at full launch or when the game fully launches. And then for mounts, they are account-wide. Once you unlock a mount, you have your stable, which is shared amongst all your characters. And from the stable screen is where you can pick your mounts, and then on any character, you can use any mount that you've collected throughout the game. And as my helpful companion in the chat has answered, yes, voice chat will be available for parties in the full game. Open beta, so Titty Smack, they asked, our beta characters are or aren't getting carried over. Open beta progress will not be carried over into full launch. Again, I will repeat it one more time to be super clear. Open beta progress will not carry over into full launch. That one, if you swing over to the website and scroll down at the bottom, so blessunleashed.com, scroll to the very bottom, you'll see a panel that says link your accounts. When you click that button, it'll take you to where you can link your accounts, and you will see whether or not your accounts are already linked. If you haven't made an account, you can also make an account there as well. This one... Oh, so Titus here, so this one, so mounts will be available, you know, through quests, through an NPC. We may have some cooler, like more exclusive mounts possibly in the cash up in the future. But as you can see on the screen here, Titus has went to the mount NPC where you can pick up mounts, and once you purchase them, they're in your stable, so all characters now have it unlocked for them. So yeah, there are a ton of ways to get mounts in the game.
Here's a switch.
Oh yeah, perfect. So Titus, you want to go through the mounts here? So
here's a brief look at some of the mounts that we're gonna have available in the game. As you can see, there's a rarity system associated with the mounts. So like obviously, like you've seen in other MMORPGs, like cooler looking mounts are more exclusive. Perhaps you have to do some special quests to get them. But yeah, you can tell it's like the typical green for uncommon, blue for rare, purple for epic, And also, there should be one more. Well, for now, that's what you can see.
Yeah, so there are some mounts that aren't in here as well. Plus, there will be new mounts being added to the game constantly. So you'll have, you know, a ton of mounts to collect, as well as an easy way to track your progression and see what mounts you haven't unlocked yet. And then as a kind of quality of life change that we've made is, again, once you've unlocked the mount and it's in your stable, you are able to then use that mount on any of your characters. Titus, can you hit the lights?
Yeah.
So we have the ghost of the ghost of the room here turning off the lights on us. You may have noticed during the Dark Souls stream it also went off for a second. But there we go. Right back on again. Yeah, of course you get your goat. Everyone can get the goat.
You can get an elephant too.
The elephant, what is it? There is possibly a very, very funny looking turtle mount in the game, or may have been in the game and's gone now. But boy, it was, I think, my personal favorite. I hope that it's there for launch, and if not, it comes back because it's good content. Yeah, so what is it? Reaper had a good question about the estate system. This one here, I can't dive into too many details since I just don't know the full spec of it off the top of my head. But yes, there will be an estate system where you are able to customize an area of your own, as well as there will be a resource mechanic tied to it where you can you can also collect certain materials for crafting and building other items without having to do it yourself per se, and that will all be announced in the near future as the feature itself gets fleshed out or finalized, since it's still being worked on or it's getting fine-tuned still. Let's see, Kat also had a good question about the currencies in game. This one, Titus, if you hit the pause button real quick and go to, yeah, so in the bottom right hand corner there of the screen, you'll see beneath where it says Heavy Swing 2, or when Titus levels up, you'll see the various currencies down there. The biggest of which is gold, which is the bottom right hand corner, which is your main currency. And then the rest over there are used for various things, be it the estates, be it when you're trying to work with crafting like legendary or higher rarity or higher grade weapons. And these here will all come into play as you dive deeper into the game. But I would say the main currency obviously is your gold, and that's how you'll be not only interacting with NPCs, but with other players as you try to get the items to craft or do all your things throughout the game. Sweet. So this one here, I think Titus is sitting toward the first like big, or like you're like I think a third of the way through the big, like the first big mission or set of missions for this quest line. But yeah, let's take a look see here as Titus traverses the land far and wide. But yeah, so the cool thing about Bless Unleashed again is that it is a open world MMORPG. And as you can see here, he's sitting out in the open world just fighting enemies with other players also going around and just beating up some baddies.
One of my favorite things to do in MMORPGs is help out random travelers. It helps me feel fulfilled in my life.
So the Blessed Pass, you may, eagle-eyed viewers and eagle-eyed people playing the game may have noticed the Blessed Pass on the welcome screen as well as just throughout the game. So on full launch, Bless will be utilizing something called a Bless Pass, which is similar to the battle passes you've seen throughout various games. And what it is you just get extra bonuses or extra like in-game bonuses by playing the game. There is both a free, or there is your normal set of rewards for the Bless Pass, which everyone gets. And then if you'd like, that's one of the other parts of monetization. You can purchase or unlock the full Bless Pass, and then you're able to get additional rewards on top of the ones that everyone else gets for free. So, and then Titus here looks like he's kind of getting lost amongst all the scenery and all the various players throughout the map.
What can I say? The world is so beautiful. It's a wonder to get lost in.
I'm awaiting my orders.
This one here, Root Birdie, what questions do you have about mounts? Oh man, I wish that we live in a world where we could have no delay in streams, but unfortunately, no. Mounts will be for transportation only for now, and that's where I will leave that question at. Different speeds, they can accelerate depending on what type of mount and the rarity of mount you have. But yes, they will have various levels of acceleration possibility.
So now we're in Kazakor.
Wow, is that a new city?
Yep.
Oh, I remember the city very well from all the testing that we've done. Ah, good times. So Cream Basics asked here, so what's each of your favorite parts of the game so far? I'll jump to Titus first. So again, so I know you've played a lot of the game. What do you like the best about it thus far? Or what's your favorite like singular point about it if you could pick one point?
I think that a lot of MMORPGs in the market force you to go into the traditional trinity. So you either have to play as a tank, a DPS, or a support or healer class. I like how this game doesn't force that down your throat. It allows you the freedom to kind of experiment and explore other routes. Like if you want to be a healer or something that's typically more of a support role in traditional MMORPGs, you can do damage in this game. So it's not locking you into one playstyle for the whole game. But of course, if you want to like kind of role play and specialize as a support, you know, that could be what you could do too.
Nice.
So the freedom is really what I like.
Nice. And then if I had to pick my favorite point, it's again, I really enjoy the combat. Everything just flows really smoothly, but it also has a really strong impact. So as you're hitting the buttons and then watching your character hit the baddies, it just feels good. And I think I'd have to, tip my hat off to the sound designers because, you can have a game that plays really well, and as you're hitting the buttons, your character is doing the things. But what really helps sell it is that like thud and that impact when you actually hit them, and your eyes syncing up with your ears. Since that's what really makes fighting in the game feel good, outside of the smoothness of all the combat itself. But yeah, combat in this game and how it works is definitely my personal favorite part of it. Let's see here. So, jumping back to the Blessed Pass, yes, so it's being balanced around the pass for everyone, or the rewards that everyone can get by spending $0. Will have the majority of the important rewards that you would just get by playing, and then the additional rewards that you can get by unlocking the full Blessed Pass are going to be cosmetic related, as well as stuff that doesn't impact your gameplay, or the overall gameplay. So wow, hi Nesquick, LOL, I noticed you. Actually, I'm trying to go through and read everyone's questions, so I apologize if we have missed your question or we haven't addressed it yet. Trying to keep an eye on everything here. But again, if it's already been answered, I may not answer it again since we've answered the same question a few times now. But I'll make sure we have a little recap toward the end since we've passed 5 o'clock now. But we'll do a quick little recap before we close up the stream as well. So. Let's see. So has combat been sped up? Do combos faster or still? Oh, okay. So combos themselves haven't changed. What has been tweaked is the back end of kind of how everything works in terms of input. But no, you still have to time your combos well, as well as you have a window for when, let's say you're doing a combo and you hit a button. You don't have to hit it immediately. You have like a small tiny window. So there's some finesse on how you do it. But it's more than just button mashing, because dodging is a very important mechanic. Wow, explosion.
I did not believe this.
But yeah, so right now you're just getting a in-depth look at the open beta itself, which is the starting part of Bless Unleashed.
Survived the tragedy on Talarian. Light will always triumph over dark.
But this one here, so I guess we'll do a quick last call here, since it's already been an hour now. We'll do a quick last call. If anyone has burning questions they want to ask in chat, please ask away. We'll try to go through all or most of them, and then we'll probably be signing off in a bit. since I'm sure everyone's excited for Friday and the time to go out and maybe play some Bless Unleashed open beta.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do tonight.
Wow, I'm so proud of you, Titus. Maybe I'll join you too. Or I'm sorry, I will join you too.
I only bought my Xbox to play Bless Unleashed.
Every time someone says that they've purchased an Xbox to play Bless Unleashed, I just get super excited knowing that we can hopefully provide the best experience for them, and also a little terrified that if they really did buy an Xbox to play Bless Unleashed, it's a lot of responsibility,
Yeah.
But yeah, again, to everyone who's participated in the open beta as well as joined us tonight in stream, we really appreciate it. So
Here's a guy on a goat.
all right, so let's see. For classes, are there subclasses for the main classes? Would it be possible to have some type of mixture with classes? At the moment, no. So you have your main class that you pick during character creation. And to customize your class, you have these things called blessings, which is how you tailor the class to fit your playstyle. In the future, that might be an option, but on launch, you will be stuck as, or you will be the class that you pick when you make your character. And then, so no carryover to launch from open. Yes, so this open beta, there will not be any progression or content carried over into launch. It will be a clean start for everyone. So again, no content will move from open beta into launch. Launch will be fresh for everyone. Which one?
How's it going, Mark Pinoy?
Let's see. So in the dungeons, are you required to have a tank and healer class, or is it possibly the dungeon? Yes. So for dungeons, you can tackle them with any combination you'd like, and it just depends more so on the skill of the player. Obviously, having balanced loadouts on each person that's going in as a whole would probably make it easier. But I think it now falls down just to individual skill and then group skill. Let's see. Awesome, Matt. I'm so glad that we gave you a reason to turn on your Xbox again. Be sure to give the open beta a shot. It's free to play. It's from November 7th to November 21st. And yeah, free to play. So no cost to you to give it a shot. Yes, for the channel system or the number of channels, those should adjust dynamically in the full game. However, because we are testing things out during the open beta, we are keeping a close eye on the back end. So we'll make sure that the number of channels is adequate, or if anything, accommodates properly for the server population. And let's see, companions. There may be cute critters that may be joining your character, but cannot say definitively yet. Will the game stay free after launch? Yes, sir. Or ma'am, or yes. So, Cream Basics, the game is free to play and will stay free to play and be free to play forever, or for its existence. So, free to play. Let's just quietly run away from that situation. So on Twitter here, so this one, it's twitter.com/blessunleashed, and that's how you'll get the most up-to-date information from us and the game itself. And it's a simple follow. Okay, let's see. And let's see. Cyril Sunrise says, for my most burning question, when can we gather trees? It just hasn't been fixed yet. So earlier you may have noticed that there was a quick maintenance to apply a patch to the servers. That issue should be fixed, and you should be able to get as much tree and tree branches as your heart desires. Let's see. For the FOV question, or changing the field of view on it, I cannot confirm for sure. We spoke with developers on this, and it is a hard maybe. I understand, as someone who also kind of experiences some weird motion sickness for when the FOV is too close, but maybe. We are working with them though to have something to accommodate players, since I personally understand that it's kind of a pain. So yes, maybe. What class would you recommend for a newcomer to MMOs? All the classes are pretty suited to, or pretty balanced in the sense of being able to accommodate any style of gameplay, or almost any style of gameplay. My personal favorite is still probably the Crusader, closely followed by the Priest. So I would give those two a shot if you're unsure what class to pick.
I wanted to add a comment too. So the beauty of that first segment, where you can play with like end game gear and kill the Cyclops, allows you to kind of have a glimpse on where your character will be later in the game. So if you're unsure what character to roll, you know, like the first area that you jump into will allow you to kind of experiment. So feel free to make alternate accounts and stuff like that.
Yep. Let's see, and then following the question list here, can I become a Bless Unleashed content creator? Everyone's free to become a content creator. If you want to make stuff about Bless Unleashed, you want to stream the game, you want to make videos, feel free. There's no restrictions. If you're curious about maybe working closer together with us, again, the easiest way would be to hit us up on one of our socials, and our community manager will follow up with you. Let's see. How much animation lock will there be for each action? This seems like an action MMO with quite heavy animation lock, and I'm worried it won't be as fast paced as other MMOs. So on this one, for the animation lock or the animation timing, it is constantly being worked on and reiterated on to create the best experience possible. I can't comment on it fully, but what I can say is that there have been an insurmountable amount of changes going on the back end as we've received feedback from players, and I would say that we're heading in the best direction possible, but again, feedback from players is really what's guiding this, so be sure to give us your comments and feedback on how it goes after you give it a shot. And awesome, take care, man. Thank you for coming. No worries. This one here seems like a good time to stop. It looks like the controller itself is acting up again. But this one here, so we'll pop back to the main screen. So awesome. Yeah, thanks, Kareem. So this one here, before we sign off, just wanted to say again, thank you everyone for taking the time to swing over to the live stream. We really appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed watching Titus play through the game here and for us answering your questions. If you have any follow-up questions, anything you're curious about or want to know everything about the game, feel free to follow us on all of our socials. So Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, it's just /BlessUnleashed or @BlessUnleashed. And feel free to join the conversation over on, Reddit, at our subreddit @BlessUnleashed. Final note is, again, be sure if you're playing to link your Xbox and your Bandai Namco account, since that's how you will get some cool in-game rewards, as well as let us know that you're interested in getting some cool stuff. In the future, we're going to be giving away not only this awesome Ranger shirt or this awesome Mage shirt, but we have these awesome scarves because the weather is getting cold out there, and again, these awesome cure-all flasks. But the only way for us to, know that you guys want it is we have to know you exist. So be sure to make those Bandai Namco accounts if you already haven't, and make sure to link it with your Xbox One accounts. Besides that, thanks again for stopping by. We really appreciate it, and we hope you enjoy the open beta. Any last words, Titus?
I hope you guys enjoy the game as much as we have and talking about it and showcasing it today. So, I'm excited for this title. I hope you guys are too.
Awesome. Take care, guys, and have a great weekend.